Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently down 2.69% to 35,854. Ethereum down 3.03% to 2373. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, please know that our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. The sun will come out again, and there's always hope. Members of the community have reached out and let me know that there is a scammer trying to impersonate me through a Gmail account. Just use this one as the official email of our community and just disregard other ones. Scammers are always the same. They'll promise the moon but actually just want to take your money. Be very, very careful. The only things that we have in the community are the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. That's the masterclass at cryptotechnicalanalysis.org, and that's the only thing we have in our community, nothing else. Crypto is one of the most volatile markets on the planet. When we see the stock market, if the stock market analysts or stock market traders or investors get a 5% decrease, and that's a really traumatic event, 10% even more so, 20% is flagged as a bear market. In crypto, these things are just everyday occurrences. When we get down 50%, as crypto professionals, we just laugh at it because that is crypto. But don't forget, it always comes back up. The long-term prospects for crypto are absolutely astronomical. But this raises a really important point. If you're going long or short, under leverage, if you're borrowing, you will be in trouble at some stage. I've had many people reach out and contact me and say, Ken, I went long, I went short, I've lost all my money. And they're really, really upset. Of course, it's horrible. Just bear in mind that when we look at liquidations, these are real people. $319.16 million was liquidated over the past 24 hours across 95,809 positions. This is really, really sad stuff. This represents losses that cannot be endured by most of these people. Please bear this in mind. Just buy at spot. When we look down over the past 24 hours, about 51% of liquidations were long liquidations, and we can see all the time shorts and longs are getting liquidated every day. It is very common for people to hedge their positions with a long side and a short side and get liquidated in both directions. This is the volatility of crypto. It's unlike any other market on the planet. You really need to be careful. Just buy at spot, which just means you swap one token for another token, or one crypto for another crypto, or fiat for a crypto. Just do that. Please do not leverage. Let's have a look at Bitcoin options expirations for January the 27th today. We can see the put call ratio is really high. This means a lot of people believe lower prices are on the horizon for today. And we can see the max pain price at 37,000. But when we go to tomorrow, what does that look like? Exactly the opposite. A lot of people are expecting higher prices. When it comes to options are really difficult to trade. In fact, the majority of option holders lose their money. So you must be aware of this. Max pain tomorrow is 42,000. Bitcoin today is around 36,000 right now. But if we go a little bit further on to March 25th, 2022, we've got some option holders expecting up to 400,000. It's mainly positive here. A lot of the community really loves Newbie news sentiment. That's where we look at Bitcoin headlines through the eyes of someone really new to the crypto market, and we try and figure out what they would do after reading the headline. Bitcoin nears US 39,000 after Fed leaves rates unchanged, but rally quickly fizzles. What would someone do here? They would say, oh, Fed rates? I don't know what all that means. Interest rates near zero, quickly fizzled. Whoa, should I sell? I should sell. Bitcoin versus the IMF and other great expectations. This is about El Salvador giving IMF the polite no thank you. We are the 5 pointers that make Bitcoin successful. Oh, what are the 5 pointers that make Bitcoin successful compared to other cryptos? As a newbie, most people would say, yeah, next, what's going on? I just want to know if I should buy or if I should sell. Here is a guide for novice crypto traders. Ooh, for Bitcoin investment. Oh, I should look at that. But what's the next headline? 20 trillion in 10 years. Famed investors' huge Bitcoin and Ethereum price prediction revealed. Ooh, Cathie Wood said Bitcoin price could exceed 1 million by 2030. We know this already. When we look at Bitcoin's price, Bitcoin's just started literally on cents in the dollar and has just come up and up and up. And why is that? Because it's a scarce resource. Only 21 million Bitcoin will ever be mined or in circulation. So as more and more people get into it, of course, they have to outbid each other. That's one of the good things about having a fixed supply. Motley Fool. What's Motley Fool up to? Bitcoin and Ethereum are at 6 months low. 6 month lows. Is now the time to pounce? Oh, look at the cute pussycat. He's definitely going to pounce. No question. That photo says it all. The Independent. Bitcoin's price news. Live crypto market rebounds as Elon Musk makes McDonald's plea. He wants more hamburgers. Elon's always up to some mischief. Bitcoin leverage lack of liquidations could indicate another wave of selling. What's this, honey? Oh, it's making me hungry. Real Bedford Football Club to accept Bitcoin through OpenNote. Oh, that's good. Cathie Wood, again? 1 million. I should buy. It's going to be $1 million. It's only $35,781 now. I should buy. The really interesting thing, just a couple of days ago, the news sentiment was really negative. This is just the crypto market. Just remember this picture. It really says it all. When I say Bitcoin is volatile, crypto is volatile, I really mean it. It's so volatile. Looking at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we can see extreme fear in the market of 20. It was 23 yesterday, 24 the day before. And if we go back for a 3-month period, we can see the crypto market has been experiencing a lot of fear for a long time. Now, what does that actually mean? Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Literally, Bitcoin has a gravitational pull. When Bitcoin comes down, the whole entire crypto market will follow it. When Bitcoin goes up, the entire crypto market will follow it as well. What I did yesterday is I actually sent a tweet out on Twitter saying if we get above this 38,935.50 mark, we should be getting into the I don't know where I'm going zone, but it's much better than the red zone that we're in currently. But it literally got up to that price and was rejected by sellers. Sellers are controlling this resistance line, but they have failed on a couple of other resistance lines. For example, this downward line here coming into play at around 35,671 is still in play. That's a support line. The others are a little bit resistance orientated now, but Bitcoin can turn around really, really quickly. So long as we remain under these resistance levels and we cannot breach them, of course the momentum is to the negative side, but we can get these long tail rejections, and that is what we look for as a community. We know that Bitcoin is incredibly volatile. It can spike up and spike down really, really quickly. That's the nature of crypto. But how far could things go? We anticipate that we would see a base at around 30,607 if we continue downwards. And we could do something like this that we saw on the 24th of January. For example, we were up here at around 36,631, and then we came all the way down to around 32,926. and then just came right back up again. This is what Bitcoin does. This is the hallmark of crypto. That's why friends don't let other friends leverage trade. It's a really surefire recipe for blowing up your account. As a community, we're really aware of this, and the professional smart money mindset says that we make in advance probabilistic choices. It doesn't matter to us if the crypto market goes up, down, or sideways. We already know what we're going to do. We're not ever caught by surprise. Turning to the KS model, which is a crypto technical trading model based on institutional price psychology, Masterclass students, you'll get this live chart in TM2. What we see here, this lower boundary, this green line has caught price on many occasions. It's a really good predictor for a floor price for Bitcoin at all times. What we see is the relative strength has come down to basically pandemic levels. These major capitulation sell-off levels are the absolute best time to lean into the crypto market, but it's exactly the opposite time, or the opposite thing, to what retail investors will do. Right now, retail investors are looking at this saying, oh my goodness, I need to get out of the market, and they're selling. The question is, who is buying? Smart money is buying. The smart money traders and investors are very specific. They buy when it's red. Smart money investors and traders look at the market when it's red and they say, fantastic, I'm going to lean in to these opportunities. Now, what does lean in mean? It means buying at support levels down using the 10-5-10 fund. And the 10-5-10 is a conceptual idea. When you actually see that big percentage decreases, for example, going from 10 down to 5 is a 50% decrease, but going from 5 back to 10 is a 100% increase. That is what professionals are always looking for, and they love bargains. The opposite thing happens with retail. When retail looks at a particular thing, it hunts out whatever's green and it goes into it, despite what may be actually happening with the technicals under it. It's really important that you invest in yourself, get as much knowledge as you possibly can about support and resistance levels. Coming back to the KS model, what we actually see is the base price that we would expect Bitcoin to fall down to if there was a black swan event. That's the important thing. If there was capitulation or a black swan event, would be up here. You can see 26,050. That is the base price. That is the lowest price that we would expect it to go to. Now, a lot of commentators are calling for $10,000 Bitcoin or even $0 Bitcoin. Those people are utterly clueless. They don't know what Bitcoin represents. Bitcoin represents the ownership layer of Web 3.0, or the Internet of Value. Just as the Internet came in and changed the entire world, can you imagine living without Internet for a week? What would you do? Basically, everything is on the Internet, but this is just the start. The Internet of Money will change the entire planet, and crypto is the doorway to it. That's why crypto is not going away. This could be very helpful as well when we look at Bitcoin dormancy flow from Glassnode and Fidelity Investments. We can see, looking at this green band, this corresponds to capitulations in the market, the very low. Look where we are right now. It's literally like we've had a capitulation. If you bought around here in sort of mid 2018, you would have done really well. You would have done incredibly well. You would have bought Bitcoin at 31.57, and that's just a proxy for the crypto market. Down here, for example, in mid 2014, with capitulation occurring here, you would have bought at $183. When you actually look at Bitcoin's exponential growth, of course, Cathie Wood and others say that Bitcoin is going into the millions, and it will. There is no question about it. Professionals look at this particular particularly harsh sell-off and just say, what a fantastic time to get in, what a fantastic time to scale in. But that's the opposite of the retail mindset, and so many influencers out there and so many reporters have the retail mindset, and that is really destructive to the people that listen to them. Rule 781, crypto technical analysis is a skill and it's also a philosophy. But what is the philosophy part about? It's about mastering yourself to master the market. Crypto is incredibly emotionally volatile, as well as price volatility. There's a lot of emotional volatility as well. When you can see a 50% loss in your portfolio and laugh like Leonardo over here, you're getting into the right philosophy. That may sound really counterintuitive. Why would you laugh if your portfolio is down 50%? Remember the 10-5-10 volatility fund starts at 10, goes to 5, 50% off, literally. Buy at 5. When it returns to 10, it goes up 100%. The more it goes down, the more it goes back up. And we know the long-term prospects of crypto are fantastic. However, when we look at KS zone analysis, and these are the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Zone 1 and Zone 2. Zone 1 is the panic zone. Zone 2 is the blame zone. These are the loss zones. People stuck inside this have an addiction to certainty. They love their indicators. They want perfect timing. They want to capture everything. And the problem is, it just doesn't work. There is no certainty inside the crypto market. And a lot of scammers prey on people in Zone 1 and Zone 2. That's why everything I do is to get you away from Zone 1 and Zone 2 into Zone 3 and Zone 4. You become unscammable in Zone 3 and Zone 4 because there is no free lunch. Everybody wants something for nothing in Zone 1 and Zone 2. In Zone 3 and Zone 4, we pay for what we get. We understand. Nothing for nothing. Zone 3 is all about probabilistic fearlessness. Zone 3 and 4 are all about probability and rules. And a lot of forgiveness is required to move out of panic and blame into a set of patience and rules. Literally, self-mastery must occur to be a really effective crypto technical analyst. And it also requires a lot of integrity. Why is integrity important? When we look at KS Real Wealth or maintaining a positive excellence life trend, so many analysts out there have little to no integrity. They literally misrepresent the data and therefore become very untrustworthy. Having integrity is a very important thing in life. People need to know what you say is what it actually is. Inside the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, we do a lot of work in real wealth. That is before the trigger section, when we go through different trading methodologies. If you don't have real wealth under control, you will never be profitable in the crypto market. Having kindness, authenticity, meaning, fulfillment, courage and honor and fearlessness, these things all rely on each other. To become fearless, you have to have certain foundations in place, and that often means that we must look internally and master ourselves. I'm just wondering, the masterclass students, you may like to share in the comments what your experience has been of the real wealth section. That could be really good and very interesting for other people. Another part of self-mastery is to know that there is no certainty inside the market. That means that we have to look very broadly across the stock market, the bond market, all sorts of things. All of that is covered very deeply inside the masterclass. What we look at here, we can see the fear gauge, the VIX, has spiked up and then collapsed down, done a little bit of a bump up, but it's not exponentially increasing. Masterclass students, you will get this chart in TM6. What actually happens, the fear gauge of the stock market is like the fear gauge of the crypto market. When there's extreme fear, people are selling, and they're generally retail hands that are selling. We talk about having a diamond mind. Really, really important stuff. It's the mind that will actually control success in the market. We can see on the NASDAQ 100, and this blue line is Bitcoin's fingerprint. It's really interesting to say that a lot of commentators say, for example, that the NASDAQ and the crypto market are 100% correlated. So, for example, if the NASDAQ comes down, Bitcoin comes down. And if, for example, the NASDAQ goes up, Bitcoin goes up. Hang on a second, that didn't work there. So Bitcoin goes up and the NASDAQ came down. And it went up and it sort of consolidated. You can see what is actually happening. You can always get divergences between the markets. Really simplistic, simple rules. For example, they are always correlated. That is a really dangerous idea. There is no certainty inside any market, especially crypto. And when you start connecting different markets, the certainty drops down exponentially. Please be aware that there is always a degree of correlation, but that correlation fades in and out. I call it the traffic light indicator effect. Basically, if you're turning left at a light and there's a car in front of you or a bike in front of you with its indicator on, your indicators will coincide. They'll sync up, but then they'll sync out, they'll dephase. Just knowing this is really, really important. Things will sync up and then they will dephase. For example, Bitcoin came down, but the stock market went up. Just bear that in mind. There's always turbulence inside the world economy. I don't think there's actually been more than 2 years' peace in our recorded history. I remember reading some particular articles that said it was about that, or maybe 5 years. So people are basically going to war about anything and everything that they can think of globally. And conflict is just everywhere. But it's important to contextualize these things because conflict is everywhere. It can be used to explain certain things. It can be spurious, which means it can be fake, or it can be real. We can see oil prices going up at the moment. Bond prices are coming down. Yields are coming up. We can see gold is retreating. This is really interesting. If there was imminent war between Russia and the Ukraine, we would expect to see gold spiking up. What I used to do, I used to trade gold and I used to love trading the VIX. And one thing that I noticed, when you have outbreaks, particularly geopolitical things, gold tends to spike up. If it starts to spike down, you see that what is actually happening in the global market is starting to lose steam. That doesn't mean it can't find support, because it can, but just be aware of this. We would expect this to be spiking up the wall at the moment. It's not. The DXY, the US dollar currency index, is seeking to get through this fairly heavy resistance level. If it gets through that, it could start to spike. This is just the technical analysis we're looking at. Just looking quickly, C19 cases, 363 million cases, and we can see the new daily cases starting to drop off a little bit. That's good. We're starting to see a bit of a spike in the death rate. And if we look yesterday, we can see that there were 3.5 million new cases. I'd like to thank the community member who reached out and shared this privately. Wanted the community to know a stealth variant of Omicron is overtaking C19 infections. This is really perturbing stuff when you think that there's just more and more mutations coming down the line. And they're seeing this stealth Omicron is a subvariant BA2, which is more transmissible strain of COVID. Should we be worried? Yeah, I guess we should. What we're seeing is that across the world, C19 continues to metamorphosize just into more and more infective strains. This does have a bearing on world events. For example, the Fed. The Federal Reserve has left interest rates on hold, but March looks likely for the first interest rate hike, and we can see that the markets have not reacted well. But what is all of this about? The Federal Reserve wants to increase interest rates to dampen the money supply, to take money out basically, to make people hold on. Why is that? It's all about inflation. Masterclass students, you will get this in TM4. We can see the 5-year and 10-year break-even inflation expectation rate has been coming down since about the 14th of November. What the Fed is basically doing, it's signaling to the market that they will actually pull back, and the interest rate, the inflation rate is actually coming down. The Fed is doing a form of guerrilla warfare inside the market. It's basically telegraphing, and the market is reacting and pricing it in. This is what this chart actually means. And we can see the CPI. The CPI, or Consumer Price Index, has been increasing. So how does this relate to BA2 or Stealth Omicron? If Stealth Omicron hits, they will have to actually put more money back into the system. As more and more infections grow, what we will see is the increase in stringency. That's about workplace and school closures, travel bans, and a variety of different things aimed to slow down the transmissibility of C19. We can see that certain countries have been increasing their stringency, and a number of countries have been doing really well. But in all, we're seeing, apart from Ireland, which has had quite a decrease, the majority are actually coming up. And we can see Sweden has had a big jump recently. Understanding stringency is really important. All of economic practice and theory is globally based. Basically, what it means is that the Fed can't taper if their economy is being shut down. They will need to put new stimulus in, and they're keeping conventional stimulus going. They're not just withdrawing everything, they're just withdrawing additional. There are any number of global events, such as the Great Wall of Debt in China's property market. So when we look at the Chinese property market sentiment across these 7 companies, they have total net debt exceeding $1 trillion. We can see that the share prices have been recovering to a degree for all of these particular companies, of course, except Cynic, which just dropped off a cliff. What we're actually seeing here is more and more confidence being restored into the Chinese property market. Of course, the CCP would not let the local property market fail. It just can't afford to do that. Masterclass students, you will get this chart in TM5. So when we look across the crypto market, we need to have a bit of a radar on what is happening in the general global economy. We can see all sorts of things, all sorts of conflict all across the world. But in general, what we do is we trade the chart in front of us, but we need to know what is going on. We can see that this downward line, Bitcoin is currently trading at 35,986. This particular support line will be hit at around 35,684. And that is not too bad, in the sense that we've actually didn't get rejected strongly. There was always the potential when we were back a couple of days ago, or 4 days ago, that we would get up to here and then just be rejected down here by all of this resistance. You can see price is consolidating, and it's actually chewing up all the sellers at the moment. We definitely have some sell pressure inside the market. That's why I just make your 3-way decisions. What will you do if a price goes down, sideways, or up from here? You must have your strategies in play at all times. Rule 28, just like in life, opportunities reset daily. It's a beautiful thing to consider. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Today is a new day. Looking at the first date, we understand that Bitcoin's gravity controls the entire crypto market. As Bitcoin comes down, the entire crypto market, less about 1% of the alts, will come down with it. And they typically always move in directional alignment with Bitcoin's gravity, what I call directional correlation. What we can see here is Bitcoin is coming down its support line. It hasn't dropped under it and made it resistance. It's just bumping along it. And it does have negative momentum, but eventually things will turn around. And we can see through our analysis, very extensive analysis of just about everything, we can see that Bitcoin and crypto is very, very oversold at the present time. Ethereum is obeying Bitcoin's gravity. It's pulled down with it. And you can see Bitcoin's fingerprint here in blue, just behind Ethereum. Looking at Binance Coin, you can see the same thing. Binance Coin is going with Bitcoin's gravity, as is Solana, as is ADA, XRP, DOT. And we can see a little bit of a difference here in Luna. Luna has been holding up really, really strongly. We'll get about 1% of the alts doing this, but always remember 99% of alts will go with Bitcoin's gravity and its directional bias. Looking at the next day, when we see Doge, it's just obeying Bitcoin's gravity, as is SHIB, as is AVAX, Matic. They're all obeying the gravitational pull of Bitcoin. So Litecoin is there as well. Uni is there. Chainlink had a really, really steep sell-off. And when looking at Algo, it's following Bitcoin's fingerprint as well. Looking at the next date, Bitcoin Cash following Bitcoin's fingerprint, as is Tron. Decentraland, Mana doing the same thing. Axie Infinity moving absolutely in sync with Bitcoin's gravity. We'll come back to Rose later. VeChain moving down with Bitcoin. FTX token doing the same. And we can see Cosmos is like one of those 1%. It's shown a lot of positive power, but it's coming back into alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. We'll keep our eye on that one. Let's have a look at Rose. We've been paying some attention towards Rose. It's a very powerful crypto, and we saw it coming up in price. And we said this thing could go down, and it's come down a lot further than what we had previously anticipated. We thought it would come down to around this particular level, around the 37, 38 mark, but it went further and filled that gap. Now, what does that mean? Did we make a mistake? Absolutely not. What it's all about, the more it actually goes down, the better is the return. For example, if I'll just zoom in there for you. We can see that Rose went up 87.87%. It's come down around 53.57%. But when Rose starts to regain its actual momentum and starts to take out that high, it would have gone up 114.72%. Knowing the crypto is negatively biased, understanding that we get implosions and explosions in price. It's not like the stock market. You don't really have the luxury of time on your side. And we seek to buy long tail rejections. It's what all professionals do. And we also seek to layer in at support levels below. Could Rose come down further? We actually hope so, because we have buying levels all the way down here. If that actually happens, that's a really good thing. The more the price actually decreases, the better off you are when price recovers. Just think 10, 5, 10. It's what all institutional smart money investors and traders do. Looking at the next day, we can see EGLD is just following Bitcoin's fingerprint, as is ICP. Filecoin is being suppressed. There's a lot of selling activity going on through Filecoin at the moment. Sand is just being hit by Bitcoin's gravitational pull at the moment. CHR, the same. Theta, the same. We can see Ethereum Classic very weak, but it's coming down in accordance with Bitcoin's fingerprint. NEAR is one of the other 1%. It did diverge, but it's always moving in directional correlation, going up when Bitcoin comes up, coming down very hard when Bitcoin comes down. Gravitational pull will always impact alts eventually. And we can see NEAR got up to a particular resistance level around $20. It's now trading at $10.90. This is a critical thing. Where you buy makes you the profit. That is something that you always want to keep in mind. Rule 444, ignore tips, advice, and marketing. Always do your own research and only go into a project that you approve. Looking at the community favorites, we can see VRA continues to be under resistance. Icon is performing better. It's above support now. It's seeking to consolidate, but we can see it's moving with Bitcoin's fingerprint. Just always keep that blue line in mind. Sushi is following Bitcoin's price action. I always like to say, if you're not sure what happened to your beloved alt, just say Bitcoin happened, because it's in all probability 99% correct. IOTA is just following Bitcoin's fingerprint. Loopring is coming down following Bitcoin's fingerprint. We saw quite a decent rally from down around the 67-cent mark to over $1, around $1.17. Phantom looking really strong. This could be one to watch. Audio just selling off in alignment with Bitcoin's fingerprint. You can see how well it's following. Cartesi exactly the same. Bitcoin's fingerprint is dominating Cartesi. It's always really beautiful to look through the community comments. Our community is really, really special, and I just want to let everybody know how much I appreciate you all. You're just wonderful people. I love to read your comments every day. Beardy, what's Beardy up to? Beardy was looking at Loopring and he got around 80% off from the all-time high. You can definitely make money on the way down, and when Bitcoin wakes up, you have a license to print money, just like the Fed. Good on you, Beardy. Thanks for your comment too, Johnny. Very easy to feel the missed opportunities in the market because they're everywhere. We would not have had the learning experience and still repeated the same mistakes over and over again if we don't layer in and see to buy into strength. Buying cryptos that are strong is really, really important. Thanks, Johnny. And thank you to Jason. Hi Ken, I've completed the masterclass and I'm ready to do it again. I found the course to be a level on its own, and I have learned so extensively. All the foundations have just been outstanding and super practical to understand. My trading mind has changed a lot over the past months. I will never buy at market price again. Well done, Jason. Like I have done in the past. And that's what crypto influencers always get people to do. I've never understood it. It's really destructive to any portfolio's profitability. Buying at layers just below support and doing my charting before purchasing any particular crypto and setting my 10-5-10 levels. The continued uploading of live content is super appreciated in the masterclass. I've enjoyed and learned a lot from watching you mark up LRC. It's an absolute pleasure, Jason. And it's a living masterclass too. When you've finished all of the sections, you'll find I keep on adding more and more new content to keep you always up to date. And thank you to Flamingo. Regarding the 10-5-10 fund, that was a strategy I never heard of until I learned about it from you. I actually created the 10-5-10 fund as a conceptual piece of architecture to help people understand how they could profit from volatility. Thanks so much, Flamingo. Now I know it's very important to be conscious of what 10-5-10 means, and always to have some money set aside in a 10-5-10 fund in order to layer buy at the lowest levels of support. Wishing everyone here real wealth always. Thanks so much, Flamingo. I really like Daniel's comment. Somebody predicted 14,000 for Bitcoin, and Daniel said, I wonder if the guy with the third biggest wallet sponsored that research. Good one, Daniel. Very cool. Tales from the Man Cave had a really, really good comment. In my experience so far, the 10-5-10 becomes truly profitable when you set it up to go really deep, obscene levels down, fully knowing that many layers may not get fills until they do. Also to increase the amount on each layer down. I've recently made a rule for myself, 10-5-10 by 10, meaning I want at least 10 layers down to have limit orders. Before that, I caught 3 or 4 layers and then saw price drop further. This also means that I have to limit myself to very few alts in order to have enough funds to do this in a meaningful way. Fantastic, fantastic thing to share, Tails. Thank you, my friend. What this is all about, The volatility of crypto makes everything really unpredictable by nature, and we can see further drops. It's a really good strategy, Tails. Tails is really good with his 10-5-10 levels. And happy Australia Day to you, Buildy, as well. And to JB. Thanks, Ken, for another beautiful video. Being in the community during these times has really made a difference. I feel calm. And even if my portfolio is still red, I know I'm going to be okay. FOMOing in seems to be a standard as a newbie, and what many crypto influencers get you to do. It's really a mind game, and it's playing on your primal actions and feelings. Working against that is hard, especially if you don't know better. I'm really grateful I found CryptoTradingKS. Now I know a little better. Baby steps, daily mantra, team and t-shirt slogan. No more FOMO, 10-5-10, go KS family. On your JB. Thank you also to Pepper Adam. I love the Newbie News Sentiment Analysis, the NNSA. Ooh, sounds so official. The 10-5-10 concept is like a magic box. The more you put in, the more you get out. How beautiful. You could think that it's a green box, not a black box. Mystery happens inside it and money comes out. In between, it takes time and a lot of patience. It helps to understand how to deal with the huge volatility of crypto, and more importantly, it keeps you from being all in. Fantastic points, my friend. If a buy order doesn't get filled, that's fine. It means more money for the next dip, and the next one is bound to come. Absolutely excellent. And from Major General George Hammond, dear Ken, really honored for the shout out. It's an absolute pleasure, my friend. Thanks also to Schwen, very nice comment, and to Andrew Brand. My mind is being blown by the masterclass. Amazing content, so fascinating. Thank you. Thanks so much, Andrew. And to the Orange Cowboy, you're very welcome, my friend. To Vicente, thanks so much. Vicente says, thanks Ken for another awesome video, and thanks to the community for the contribution of ideas and values that enrich us all. Just beautiful. Thanks also to Badger. Excitement is a delayed fill. I tried it and I woke up the next morning to see I got filled in the tail and price was already up. That's what we love. It's so exciting to see that happen. I'm convinced that this is the best way to buy. I wasn't market buying before, but I was chasing price up and down with my limit orders, which is not so good either. Yeah, that's fantastic, Badger. Just decoupling that FOMO and that FUD is so important, and just putting a structure around things is really, really lovely. Thanks so much for your kind words, and thanks so much too to Reverend Jim Jones. Thanks to everyone inside our community. There were so many beautiful things that I wanted to read out, but we just simply didn't have the time. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate you very, very much. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. And I thought what we could talk about in the comments section on YouTube is the three-way plan. How do you execute? How do you make your decisions? If you're, for example, looking at the market right now and you're saying to yourself, how do I make my three-way plan? How do I have an action for if it goes down, if it goes sideways, or if it goes up? I'd be really interested to hear the community's understanding and focus on that. That's a really, really important concept. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, including the link to the masterclass. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.